Hello, everyone. Welcome to Octopunk Monthly Update for the month of August. Thank you for being patient with me as we pushed back this a week from where it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be last week. But unfortunately, the one thing I took home from Europe, other than great memories, was also COVID. Me and Austin spent the week after Europe basically recovering from COVID. He recovered really quickly. Jury's still out on me. This is like kind of my first day in like the 13 days that I was sick of where I'm like feeling mostly normal, like a little bit of sinus drainage, but mostly normal. So I'm glad to be mostly over that and back to work, back working on live screamers, back working on Detroit Reawakenings special features, getting everything together from Europe, and a lot of other stuff that you'll hear about today on Octopunk Monthly Update. First of all, I want to shout out some folks in the chat, though. Thank you, Becky Elaine, for the 5 gift subs and for the 2-year resubscription. You've been here for 2 years, probably longer than that, really, but 2 years officially. Welcome to some first-time chatters as well. I've got Sleepy Octo, hello, welcome, and Blue Salamanders. Never seen y'all here before. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. We've also got Eccentric Giraffe here for 38 months, Timmy Silver for 14, Pickalily for 19, Maddie Cosplay for 13, Super Silly Pants for 27 months, Mindless Somber for 5 months. Thank you, Ronnie, for the bits, and Warden Mages for 30 months resubscription, and Captain Andor for 1 year, 12 months. Welcome for 1 year. Oh, we also got Camille310 in the chat, too. Welcome for the very first time. One thing I want to point out as well, some of you have already noticed this, we've got a little bit of a different emote in the chat. It is the praise tentacles. I did a little bit of a redesign on that for reasons you'll see in a bit, and decided to go ahead and upload that here to Twitch, so that should be active for both followers and subscribers. Yep, there it is. It's just a little bit more clean, and actually says praise on it, which is fun. So yeah, we got some praise tentacles up in the chat. I think the one on the YouTube is still the old version. I need to transfer the YouTube sub one over there. But I did also on YouTube, for anybody who participates in my Patreon YouTube screams. This is the problem of having a movie called Live Scream. You just say live scream instead of live stream for the rest of your life. So I've enabled gift subs over on YouTube, so that's fun. YouTube now has gift subs for subscribers. So anybody who's a Patreon $5 and up live stream subscriber and sees the Patreon live streams every month and on YouTube, you can now gift subs over there, which is pretty fun. But we've got a lot to talk about today. Mostly I want to talk about what's coming to Patreon in August. I want to do a little bit of a Begin Again Q&A, because that came out this past weekend. Y'all got to see Begin Again if you hadn't already seen it in our European events. We can talk a little bit about the European events as well. This is the first time I've seen y'all since I've done them. We've also got some events in the future to talk about. Not my events, but events where you can see me, and also some of our films. Some stuff that's coming up on YouTube this month, as well as, you know, your usual suspects, and also me screaming about the fact that today is the last day you can get Detroit Reawakening on Blu-ray. And I'm actually going to start with that, because this was another thing that I decided to push back a week because I was sick and I didn't have time to like promote it as much. We are at like $4,500 right now, which is great. And actually, if you add on the coffee contributions, we're a little bit higher than that. We're probably like 47 or 48, which means we're only about $2,200 to $2,300 away from the goal of 7,000. Now, nothing really special unlocks at 7,000. I'll say that. Like everybody, this is a flexible funding goal. So if you contribute to the campaign, you're going to get the thing that you paid for. And 7,000 isn't really like a magic number in terms of like, you know, unlocking a stretch goal. That's not till 10,000, where we would unlock Blu-rays of Begin Again. But 7,000 is still a really good goal to hit, because number one, that allows me to cover all expenses for both shipping and Blu-ray, which I would really like. But also, if I can cover all my expenses in that way, that means that I can get some additional stock for a charity stream down the line, which means that by supporting this campaign, you kind of help me build some stock for charity stream that I want to do in November. So if you haven't already checked it out, you can go to igg.me/@/DRA Blues. I just threw that in the chat. This is our short link for this Indiegogo campaign. I think it's till the end of the day. I didn't look to see how many hours are left in the campaign. Actually, I can look right now. I can go to the link. It's fine. How much we got? We have 13 hours left. Also, we're at 69 backers or 67 backers. And it'd be fun if we could get just a couple more, if we could get to 69. Um, so there's an incentive. We are only 2 backers away from 69 backers. So we can get there at least. But yeah, it would be lovely if we could get to 10K to be able to do the Begin Again Blu-rays. I've also had a couple folks suggest that maybe if we get to 8,000, they might take care of that other 2. I don't want to call them out for that, but you know, if we start to get close to the 10K, that Begin Again Blu-ray might happen. But really, for me, it's just like if we can get to that 7,000, it'd be great, because that means that all expenses will be covered, as well as the fact that we'll be able to get some extra stock to incentivize people to donate to our charity stream down the line. So, yeah, it's 13 hours left. So if you're on Eastern time, you have till 3 a.m. If you're on Pacific time, you have till midnight. If you're on like London time, you have till like 7 a.m. tomorrow. So like the rest of tonight. But there are some other add-ons as well. If you've already donated to the campaign previously and you're like, Michelle, I already have a Blu-ray, like all this stuff's the same. If you donate $5, which is the minimum, you can go to the checkout page, and there's a lot of stuff that wasn't on the original campaign. There are Maximilian Koger signed postcards, Michael Smallwood signed postcards, Carla Kim signed postcards, Brittany Brock signed postcards. There's also posters, 8x10 posters by the entire cast and myself for Detroit Reawakening as well. That's available. I think you do have to donate over 50 to get that, because it does require shipping cost. But yeah, there's also die-cut Iggy stickers. If you've been a Patreon for a while, you might have gotten some of these, but some of these autographs were only done in like 2019 and 2020. So if you haven't been here in like the last 2 years, you might have missed out on at least one of them. So definitely check that out. They don't cost any extra shipping or anything to just add that onto your $5 tier. And yeah, help us get to 7,000 by the end of the day. That'd be great. You can also, and I verified that this still works, we have a sponsorship with Insert Coin Clothing in the UK. They provided all of our clothing for live screamers, which means that you can get a copy of some of the characters' wardrobe from Insert Coin, which is great for now because they have a rotating stock. So by the time the movie actually comes out, they might not have those costumes anymore. You can use our promo code OCTOIC for 15% off of your order. It's a really good company. They're very, very generous. They give us all the wardrobe for free. So I want to promote them as much as possible. And if you have any questions about like what certain characters wore or anything like that, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer and actually point you in the right direction of like what particular items I bought to assemble each costume if you're looking to do a cosplay or something in the future. We are at the level 3 hype train as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Also, thank you, Sky, for not completely knocking out my internet. As I was beginning the stream, I was like listening to this huge thunderstorm that was happening, and I was like, please don't lose power. Please don't lose power. If I do end up losing power, or if the stream cuts out, you'll know why. But it seems okay. It seems quiet now, so that's good. Also, I want to talk about some events. So, like I said, we did Europe, which is amazing. I have so many memories. You can go on my Instagram where I made like a long post, and I posted some of our Polaroids, which are actually within reach, really, because they're kind of, I stuck most of them to my my computer. But that's us under the Eiffel Tower, JJ, Taj, Austin, and Carla. And there's a few others here of like Michael and Chris and MJ, actually, who we ended up running into because we got stuck in Detroit. It was such a story. I guess I haven't told it yet to the rest of y'all, but basically me and Michael and Austin flew, we were flying to Munich, and we had a layover in Detroit, and Chris was coming from New York, and he was going to meet us in Detroit airport, and all 4 of us were going to get on the plane to Munich to go to Munich together. And we get on the plane to go to Munich, and like we settle in and everything, and we take our little, hey, we're taking off picture for Instagram, like we're ready to go. And then the guy on the intercom is like, hey guys, really sorry, but a pilot had a family emergency, and we're delaying the flight 4 hours basically, because it was supposed to take off at like 5:30, and now the plane was taking off at 9:30. And we're like, oh, that's a bummer, but I don't want to be on this plane for another 4 hours. So hopefully they let us off, and they did. And they let us off the plane. We're like, cool, airport pub crawl. So the four of us, we go to the bar. We run up a bar tab. We go to another bar that looks exactly the same because it's an airport. Run up another bar tab. We notice that the flight gets delayed again till 11:30, and we're like, 2 more hours to kill. That fucking sucks. And then around 10, we're like, we just need to see what's going on with this plane. So we walk over to the Delta counter, and some lady's like, that flight's canceled. And it's like, oh, that fucking sucks. What do you mean that flight's canceled? We have an event to get to. And so we're like, can you send us through Paris or something? Can you send us through some other city to get to Munich, like sometime before our event actually starts? And they're like, nah, you got to leave at 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's the earliest we can leave for Munich. That would get us into our event an hour before it starts. And so I was like, well, can't do much about this. So they paid for us to have a hotel. Best friend MJ Slide from Live Screamers happens to live in Detroit. That morning at the hotel, we end up, I don't remember if I did post this on Instagram, yeah. So this is in our kitschy hotel room, MJ and Chris hanging out. Let's see if I can get my autofocus to work. There we go. A lot of fun. MJ brought us some pour-over coffees and some fresh-picked berries from the garden farm they were house-sitting for. And we made the best of it. And we get to the airport, 4 p.m., we get on the plane, and then we settle in, and everything's great. We take our pictures for Instagram and everything. And then the guy comes on the intercom again, and he's like, I'm so sorry, guys. And I'm thinking to myself, like, we know you're sorry. You've told us before. Let's just go to Munich. And he's like, we got to kick you off this plane again. And Michael and Chris just burst out laughing because they think the guy's joking. And I'm like, this guy is not joking. So the stewardess walks by, and I overhear her saying, this is so embarrassing. And really, truer words were never spoken because they kicked us and our luggage off that plane a second time. And then the ETA, or the expected departure time, moved from 4 o'clock to like 6:30, which would get us into Munich as our event was starting. The earliest we could actually get to the event was now 10:30 a.m., which was an hour and a half after it began. Now, luckily, in the past 24 hours, of knowing that we were going to be delayed, JJ and Tasha, who had already been in Munich, and Summers, who'd already been in Munich, and Carla as well, I had been in communication with all of them and was like, look, guys, this is what we've got to do. Here's the attendance list. Here's the protocol. Check for Vax cards. We rearranged the schedule a little bit so that, that first hour that was supposed to be a panel, we were going to do the shorts block instead, so it would just be screenings. I didn't need to be there for it. So yeah, it was a little bit of crisis management to be on a different continent 9 hours before your event's supposed to begin. But we made it work. And if anybody was in Munich, was in the chat right now, we came in right as we were supposed to, and everything, we were awake for the rest of the day, and we did our panels and everything. We all had a great time. So, London was a little less stressful because we didn't have to deal with that. But it was certainly an adventure for the ages. Emma says it was still awesome. Great. I'm glad. Well, and that I got to attribute JJ and Tasha and Summers and then Carla as well for helping with that so much. Like we would not have had an event without them. So I walked in and they had it all under control, and I'm like, God, I have the best team in the world. So it's really good to know. And I never doubted it, really. Like, as soon as I knew that we were going to be late, and I knew JJ and Tasha had been through they lost their luggage and stuff at that point. They didn't know if they were ever going to get it back for the whole trip, so they were going through their own stuff. But I felt like, I never once doubted that the event was going to be okay because JJ and Tasha are like the best people you can have on it. And they'd already done it in New York too. Like, they ran registration in New York. So they had been through the flames and the trials before. Such an adventure, yes. But that was just the beginning of our adventure in Europe. We had a really, really, really good time. Thank you all so much for coming out, those of you who did. I think we ended up having like 70 people in Munich and like 55 in London, which was a really great turnout. Neil Newbon was kind enough to show up. I invited him a few weeks before London, and he was like, I don't know if I'll be able to come. I'll check my schedule. And then the day before London, he texted me and was just like, I'll come into town tomorrow. I'm coming in from a flight. I'm gonna be jet lagged as fuck, but I'll be there. And he was so dedicated. He was so determined to be like, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. And just kept in communication through the whole day. And around the time he was able to show up, the event was kind of ending, and I was like, you know, just so you know, like our event's kind of ending, and like everybody's in the lobby and stuff. And he was like, that's totally cool. And he came and talked to everybody for a while and stayed until the last person had their picture and talked to them and stuff. So it was really lovely to get to meet him, and he was very, very generous with his time. And I'm glad all y'all were surprised. I'm glad it worked out. Chris Bosch was actually going to be there too in London. Unfortunately, he was unable to get a train. He was so disappointed. He so wanted to be there for y'all and just to meet us and just to hang out, really. But I'm glad we got Neil anyway. Let's see what else we got. So other events that I want to talk about in the future. So Fame Fatale and What a Beautiful Wedding are on a festival run right now, which means that they can be seen in multiple festivals that are coming up. And I will actually be present at all of these. So if you are anywhere near Macon, Georgia, Macon Film Festival's next weekend, and Fame Fatale will be screening there. They also have a planetarium that they screen movies in as well. It's a very interesting festival at some kind of university. And so if you're in the area, that's August 19th through 21st, and Fame Fatale can be caught there on Saturday the 20th. Genre Blast Film Festival in Winchester, Virginia, September 1st through 4th. There's a lot of really cool stuff at Genre Blast. So first off, we got Fame Fatale. Second off, we got What a Beautiful Wedding. Both of those are going to be screening on Saturday in Genre Blast. But also on Saturday night, we've got the world premiere of the trailer of Live Screamers. So if you want to see Live Screamers' first trailer, that is also going to be there on Saturday at Genre Blast, live at the Alamo Draft House, attached to the Worst Laid Plans blog. Some of you might have been following the Worst Laid Plans project. Deep in the Heart, John Hale's short film, is part of that. So that'll be world premiering as well at Genre Blast. So there's a lot of really cool stuff there, a lot of Friends films. And a lot of Octopunk presence as well. It's also just a really dope festival. It's one of my favorite fests. It's like my home fest. They actually were like, hey, you got Live Screamers ready yet? And I was like, not even close. But I have the trailer, so I'm going to give y'all the trailer. And so they're going to get to see that first. In terms of when y'all will get to see the Live Screamers trailer, don't worry. It'll be soonish. I won't hold on to it too long, just like I won't hold on to Blair Toaster for too much longer. You'll find out more about Blair Toaster in the next OpMu at the end of this month. I'll have more details, release date, and trailer for that. Oh, Austin says, I'm worrying on Worst Laid Plans too, which is a great Freudian slip. Austin's working on Worst Laid Plans, but worrying about how he's actually going to finish the sound mix in time. TD Ameritrade is now calling me, which is not great. TD Ameritrade, I can't answer this right now. I'm dealing with my father's estate, and I have things to do. Bad Carrot Studios, hey Cricket, welcome! Cricket is in Fallout Sanctuary. Welcome, it's nice to see you in the chat. In terms of Fallout Sanctuary, if you were in London, you got to see a little bit of that as well. We did a panel on that and talked about that. That's going to be coming next year after Live Screamers. But that is next on the agenda. We did finish our voice acting for that in July. So all the voice acting's locked for Fallout Sanctuary. Now it's just getting through Live Screamers and then being able to go into animating. Fat Carrot's like, definitely wasn't in London. You know, I should probably share it actually. I should share it in our Discord for the actors. I showed a video reel. I might put that on YouTube as well soon. Like I might throw up some of that test footage that I showed in London for Fallout Sanctuary. Because it was a couple minutes of test footage of the show. But like I said, so we've also got Horror Hound, Cincinnati, Ohio, September 9th through 11th. Me and Smallwood are both coming to that for the Femme Fatale and What a Beautiful Wedding, both screening at their film festival. Femme Fatale is going to be on Sunday morning. I don't know when What a Beautiful Wedding is going to be. I didn't see it on the schedule. But I also wasn't looking for it, so they just sent me. They said, "Hey, Femme Fatale, Sunday at whatever," because I'm not in control of What a Beautiful Wedding's festival submissions. Michael actually handles all of that. But this is going to be September 9th through 11th. Horror Hound is a really fun event. It's not just a film festival, it's a convention. There's lots of panels, there's lots of stuff to do, costume contests, lots of autograph opportunities and things. So if you're into horror at all, I highly recommend Horror Hound. It's a huge blast. It's a huge, great time. And Cincinnati's pretty close to a lot of other things. So if you're in the Cincinnati area or somewhere in Ohio and you want to check this out, September 9th through 11th, I really recommend making the trip. Like I said, we will be there screening some films. I might be on a panel. I did volunteer for panel duty. I was like, hey, you can put me on some stuff. I don't know if they'll actually pick me. But basically, you can come see us at any of these events, as well as some of the films that we have been screening if you are in this area. I saw somebody, I think it was Emma, said something about a non-American film festival. I don't do a lot of festival submissions in general for my movies these days because they're not free. It costs about $40 to $60 to submit to each festival, and that, then you have to get picked, and we really only get picked for about a third of the festivals we submit to, so it's very cost prohibitive. So I really only submit to festivals that I feel like I can go to. But if you want to see Femme Fatale, it is also going to be on YouTube Halloween Day. So Femme Fatale is coming out very, very soon to the YouTube channel. For those of you who haven't gotten to see it yet, we did screen it in Europe as well. So hopefully some of you in Europe, if you weren't patrons, did get to see it live at least. But even if you didn't, it will be coming to YouTube for everybody on Halloween. So that is not too much longer now. It is practically Halloween season. Welcome, Fruity Eddie Munson. I saw you followed me on Twitch a couple days ago, and I was like, I like that username. That's fun. In terms of when What a Beautiful Wedding is going to be coming out, that's going to be next year on YouTube, so we got a little bit longer on that. I want to talk to Michael about some release schedule for that. Also, I think I would maybe like for What a Beautiful Wedding to have a shot at getting on like a distributor sort of situation, like maybe Alter or something. Like, I'd like to give it that chance. But Femme Fatale, I think we're just going to keep on ours. Yeah. I've got some other stuff coming to YouTube this month that I want to talk about, actually. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to set up my microphone because my thing doesn't work. Give me 1 second of silence. Here we go. Thank you, OBS. Okay, so we've got some stuff coming up on YouTube. We did Q&As and panels in Europe. We did them in both Munich and London, and we recorded most of them. So I'll actually be sharing these on the YouTube channel for those who couldn't be there. We're going to be doing the Munich Q&A from Begin Again this Wednesday, August 10th. We'll be doing the London edition of it next Wednesday on the 17th. We'll be combining the London and Munich Detroit Wakey performances. We didn't do the full script or anything at either event, but we did several scenes. There was some audience participation. It was a lot of fun. So that'll be on the 24th. And then I'll also be doing the Live Screamers London Q&A on August 31st. Unfortunately, I do not have the Munich Live Screamers Q&A, and I do not have the Fallout Q&A from London. I don't have any footage of either of those things. If you have footage of them, I would appreciate having it, so feel free to send that along to me if you haven't already. I have gotten a couple people who've sent videos and pictures and things that have been really awesome, and I'll probably be using some of your footage, but I mostly have Austin's sort of uninterrupted coverage of the panels that I do have. So that'll be pretty cool. And that'll allow you, if you have questions about Begin Again or questions even about Live Screamers, to check that out and see sort of what we talked about at those panels, as well as a catchphrase for me that was created at the Live Screamers panel as well. Joe says, we're at 70 backers, but I'm still going to say noise. Oh, we went past 69. Thank you, chat. Oh man. Vienna Vamper says the fact that you did all power through Munich the way you did, considering all the craziness of your flight and all, is still super impressive. Well, I mean, we didn't have much of a choice. I wasn't going to just fall asleep at my own event. So, you know. Oh man. So I also want to talk about Patreon. So for those of you that saw Begin Again this weekend or in Europe, whichever one came first, you probably fell in love with our friend Kyle Pulley. Kyle Pulley is the focus puller for Detroit Reawakening. He uses this little follow focus device, which if you learn nothing else from Begin Again, you should know how a follow focus works. And so he is this month's Patreon postcard of the month. I really had fun designing this for him. It is a follow focus with some stickers that represent different aspects of him, such as Digimon and Sriracha, as he said that are aspects of his personality I should be sure to capture. So these will be signed by Kyle Pulley and given out at the end of this month. Now, for those of you expecting your July rewards, I did post something on Patreon about this. Between going to Europe and getting sick, I lost like half of July to fulfill Patreon things. So basically, for $1 patrons, the Polaroids for Detroit Reawaken, I'm going to throw a couple extra of those onto the $1 circulation this month. I already have. I posted one yesterday. In addition to our $1 benefits for this month, I did both streams last month already, so that's good. $25 patrons, tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for our group call. It's going to be like an intimate Begin Again Q&A with me and Austin, so you can ask us questions on a Zoom call directly, face to face. So get some questions ready for the making of Detroit Reawakening or the making of the actual documentary if you'd like. And for the $10 and up patrons, so I did not unfortunately get enough postcards. I only got 45 postcards signed by fans at the event, which is enough to cover anybody who's been a patron for longer than 2 years, or anybody who's a $25 or $50 patron. So if you have tenure of longer than 2 years, or you've been here, or you're 25 and 50 for the month of July, you'll get one of the Greetings from Europe postcards. If you're a more recent patron, I will be swapping out with something different, something that you still have not gotten before, but it'll have to be different because I just don't unfortunately have enough supply. So I have some Michael Whaley postcards, I have some Kristen Ciotti postcards, I have some Brett Mullen postcards, and who was the other one that I had? Oh, Aaron Ciotti. Aaron from Begin Again, who was our gaffer on Detroit Reawakening and Detroit Evolution, or not Detroit Evolution, but a lot of other movies that I've made. Kristen, of course, being the makeup artist from DE, Brett Mullen being the cinematographer from DE, and then Michael Whaley being the director and writer of On the Road Again, as well as a very frequent collaborator who's done lots and lots of projects with us. This is the clown that he played in Live Scream, actually. So this is my stack. It'll be randomized, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody got something that they have not gotten before, and still was able to get something fun. Everybody will still be getting the same die-cut sticker. I did swap out the sticker design. I was originally going to do like a European Iggy. I decided to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit more original. You'll just have to see what that is when you get it in the mail at the end of the month. I'm still probably not going to get my stickers until the end of this week. I'm going to try to ship all that out finally this weekend, and then at the end of August, we'll have our August rewards and everything will be back on its regularly scheduled program. But like I said, we've got Kyle's autograph for our August patrons. Our Patreon sticker of the month, like I said, there's a reason for this. I wanted to do this emote in sticker form for everybody, so I had to do a little bit of a redesign, and then I decided to just upload this more high-res, better version for you guys. So this is now officially the praise emote on Twitch, and this is going to be the die-cut sticker of the month for $10 and up patrons for August. And then other benefits we have this month, more live streamers behind the scenes picks for $1 patrons, our 2 $5 live streams. I've got some Detroit Reawakening Blu-ray creation. You're going to see how I'm going to make the menus for the Blu-ray, how I'm going to design the Blu-ray. That's going to be something I've never done before on stream. I've never actually shown y'all the process for like, how does one design a Blu-ray? How does one design and author Blu-ray menus, and how does that all work? So that'll be pretty fun. That'll probably be next week as I start to build the Blu-ray menus for the Detroit Reawakening Blu-rays before I send that off to the manufacturer. And then we'll also do some more live screamers in Unreal. I have a lot more set to build for live screamers. I have some renovations to the mansion that I need to do, so that'll be at the end of the month. And then, like I said, $10 and up patrons get the Kyle Pulley signed postcard and praise hands die cut stickers. So, one last call for this. Like I said, 12 hours left in the Detroit Reawakening Blu-ray campaign. This is your last chance to help us get to 7,000 so I can cover costs as well as get a little bit of extra inventory so that we can support a charity stream in November. If we get all the way to 10,000, we'll make Begin Again Blu-rays, and everybody $50 and up will get those too. But at minimum, I would like to at least meet our goal of 7,000. I think that we can do it. We've only got about 2,000 left to raise, and so I know we can do it. I know we got it in us. We just got a lot of procrastinators out there, and I'm one of them. I'm always that person. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait to the last day. Make sure that I got my affairs in order, everything. We're good. Before I go, I would like to open the floor. I did say there was going to be a Begin Again Q&A. So if you have any questions about Begin Again or response or comments or anything like that, because that did come out this past week and I want to open the floor to those. But otherwise, I guess I'll just wait on my sushi. Austin, did our sushi get here? It should be here.
Let me check.
Go check. It's been raining. It came here 12 minutes ago. I hope our sushi's not wet. I'm gonna have to call back TD Ameritrade. It's there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's dry. Good. Oh man, I have really actually enjoyed the comments that folks have left on Begin Again so far. I got a really nice one that I pinned. Oh wait, that's Detroit Reawakening. Here we go. Detroit Begin Again. Now I want sushi. It's been a while since I had it. I saw something online that was like, when was the last time you had your favorite food? And I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna order sushi today. Never tried sushi. It's really good. Oh, well, see, I don't do the raw stuff personally. So that's how I got over my, I don't do the raw stuff.
The raw stuff's good.
Austin likes the raw stuff. Greeny says, I was legit trying to cram all of Begin Again down my throat before the stream. It's hard to binge. It's hard to cram an hour and 40 minutes. Blake says, I love it, but I'm allergic to cucumber and avocado. Allergic is a strange word to say. I am intolerant of avocado actually myself, and so there's a very narrow margin of sushi that I can have. I have to get it without avocado as well. It's like and also Austin's allergic to gluten, so he has to be very specific as well. I do not eat octopus sushi, Emma. I do not. It's not even because I think tastes bad or because it's not even the idea. It's like I don't want to eat an octopus. They're too smart. It feels wrong. It feels ethically wrong to eat an octopus. Greedy says, I've gotten almost an hour or so in. At least I can say I made a visible effort. I feel weird. I don't know. I'm not just gonna read off these compliments. that seems strange, but I do appreciate some of the things folks have said. I got one from actually from Matt, Gilu Matt, being from the other side of the world, knowing the fandom from all around the world reunited to support and bond over these movies is heartwarming. I agree, and also one of my favorite things that I've gotten. I don't. Is it back here? I think it's somewhere back there. I bought Gilu Matt's D3 art book because I'm very into analog things. I'm very into like physical media. And I'm very like, if an EMP wipes out the world or whatever, I want to have a record of like the things that I've made. And like to have like an art book of D3 in this like beautiful isometric style. It was one of my favorite like projects I saw somebody kind of do from D3. I was like, I have to have this. So I got it because it was really cool. It was just like, I love physical media. Um, Captain Andrew says the train tried so hard to be involved during filming. Why did you exclude it from Begin Again? I couldn't get it to work continuity wise, weirdly enough. So there are some things in Begin Again, particularly on day 3, that are a little bit of trickery in terms of editing, because some of the things that I show you happened a little out of order, but it edited together better. It's like, we're cutting to Chris and Maximilian filming the scene, and then we cut back to Michael hanging out with the visitors, and then we'll do a little bit of the nap room, and then we'll do more of the scene, and then we'll like do more nap room things. Well, some of those things were shot a little out of order because and if I had edited it linearly, the pacing would be weird. And when it came to like this train basically showed up and stopped like outside the set, which is really funny, but the only place that it would make sense for me to put that editing wise was a place where Carla had already gone to the nap room, and Carla was in the background of that scene. And I was like, well, continuity-wise, this doesn't work because we've established that Carla's in the nap room. I can't put that here. So there was a lot of things that I just it just didn't edit correctly. But that will be in the gag reel for sure. Like, there's a lot of things, because Warden may just ask, are there moments you wish you could have made it in the doc that had to cut? Yes, absolutely. There's so many things. There's a lot of things with like Michael hanging out on day 3 that I wanted to add but got cut. And so I ended up, I'll put them in a gag reel, or I might do like a loose bits of Begin Again or something like that. Like I might do some like unused footage of Begin Again and just like throw together a bunch of little moments that didn't make it into the final film. That might also be a thing that I do. Is it going to happen immediately in the immediate future? No. Probably not. I am going to finish making gag reels for Detroit Reawakening. I will say that, because I'm going to put them all on the Blu-ray. That is part of the whole like mission of this month, is basically to finish the commentary, finish the gag reels, do some unused footage reels, do a couple of like little behind the scenes featurettes, and then get that all ready for the Blu-ray so that I can ship that off to the manufacturer by the end of the month, get them in the mail by the end of September, and start shipping them by the end of September. So if you've been wondering, like a lot of people have, about when they're going to get their Detroit Reawakening stuff, don't worry, you haven't missed out. Haven't sent it to the manufacturer yet. It's next on the list though. Vienna Vampire says the nap room was as creepy as it was amazing. It was something. It was something. We can say that. How hard was it to narrow down which footage got in and which didn't, said Jewel Forrest. So basically, it was pretty easy to cut things, because like whenever I started to feel like it was dragging, I would cut stuff. Whenever I felt like there was setup without payoff, or payoff without setup, I cut that. I think the first cut of the film was like 2.5 hours. And then I narrowed it to 1:37. And actually, I even narrowed it down from there's a couple things that were in the Europe cut that I threw out. Because I was like, I don't need this. And so if you saw the Europe cut, you might be like, huh, what happened to like that one bit? Well, there was, I think I cut like 2.5 minutes out of the Europe cut because it just didn't add anything. So it was pretty easy. I'm pretty economic with editing, and particularly with this documentary, I had a theme I was going for. Like I had a theme that I wanted to constantly reinforce and go for. And it was, it's still a making of documentary at the end of the day. I wanted to make it a little more than just, hey, watch us make a movie. I wanted to have catharsis to it. I wanted to have a framing device to it. I wanted it to be about more than just making a movie. I do have, God only knows, probably 16 hours of behind the scenes footage of live screamers, I will say. And if I cut that down into an 1.5 hour long documentary, there wouldn't be a lot of catharsis to it. There wouldn't be a lot of like framing. It would literally just be, hey, watch us make a movie easily for 5 days. I think there would be some interesting bits of it from like a technical standpoint, but I don't think that there would be anything about it that's particularly juicy or even particularly like lore making. It's just kind of like, yeah, you're watching us make a movie for 5 days. So this one I felt like was a more intimate look at Octopunk and a more intimate look at the people who were making up the actual production, which was really a gift that, you know, Austin caught the footage in that way. It was a very special film to make, and like even though Live Screamers was the funnest I've ever had on a set, really, in terms of like it was just a really good time we had making that movie. I feel like my BTS doesn't capture that. I feel like my BTS doesn't really reflect how it felt to be there the way that Austin's footage for Detroit Reawakening and Begin Again did. So I think Begin Again is a very unique documentary in that regard because the footage was just so on point for like what I wanted to show y'all about the making of this project. And we did have like such a story around the making of this project and the making of the community that made the project. One of my favorite things about Begin Again is that y'all are in it so much, that we do those shout outs, we do those video calls, you know, we show y'all at New York, we show y'all at even Europe in the end. That was another edit that I made for the YouTube cut. So yeah, it was really, really cool to be able to bring all this archival footage together to be able to make it. And then Piccalilli asked, how did it feel seeing everyone's reactions? It was fun. It was great. It was funny watching it with an audience. It's always really entertaining to watch a film with an audience, which we haven't really gotten to do much since COVID started. It was my favorite thing about Live Scream, was watching Live Scream with an audience. So I was really... My dad was very excited. He made it in for a few seconds from NYC. Of course, he was there. He was there in NYC. So yeah, it was really cool to see everybody's reaction twice, you know, with an audience, as well as seeing everybody's reaction to like Blair Toaster and Femme Fatale and, you know, What a Beautiful Wedding, like all the other things that we showed. And Live Screamers, we showed the first 10 minutes of Live Screamers for those who don't know. So Europe got to see that. In addition to like seeing a little bit of footage from Fallout Sanctuary, they saw Blair Toaster, they saw Begin Again, they saw some of our shorts, so they got to see a lot. If you came to Europe, you got to see a lot of things. And also, like, so like I said, Blair Toaster, we're going to have more news about that. The next time we will see each other on OpMu is going to be Monday, August 29th. It's in 3 weeks. So I'll see y'all in 3 weeks here on Twitch. That's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday, August 29th. It'll be right before I head off to Genre Blast, so that'll be fun. And I'll have a release date and probably a trailer for Blair Toaster. If I can make a trailer for it without spoiling the movie, I will make a trailer for Blair Toaster. Other than that, we have that to look forward to in September. If you've seen Blair Toaster before, let me know what you think. Vienna Vampire's asking, should we expect Blair Toaster as a hidden Easter egg in the background of all your films from now on? Maybe. I mean, like, if you've seen Blair Toaster, you know that it can hide in plain sight. It can be just, you gotta squint, but it can be in the background of certain shots. So... Green Dragon says, I'm still salty that having watched the first 10 minutes of Live Screamers on the big screen, I'm going to have to watch the rest on my crappy laptop. Why would you have to watch the rest on your crappy laptop? Do you not have... We might go theatrical. You never know. That's the goal. That's the goal, is to go theatrical. I would also... That's a movie I am going to try my damnedest to get a London film festival screening of it. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I definitely like it's an original feature, so it's gonna go as far as it possibly can. And as far as I can take it, we'll see. Because the folks I was originally talking to about financing it, they would have done theatrical, but it didn't work out. But I don't know. Maybe it will in the future. We'll see. Becky Elaine says, if Live Screamers brings you back to NYC, you know I'll be there. Goals. That's all I'm gonna say. Goals. Captain Anders says, I wonder if indie theater here is doing private reservations. I'd reserve the theater to screen live screamers and invite anyone who can make it in my city. Hey, like that's basically what they did with Paranormal Activity, and I'm not against that. Like if folks are willing to reach out to indie theaters in their areas to arrange a screening or something like that, especially if they're willing to do it for free, and just like do a revenue share of the tickets and stuff, like I'm here for it. Let's talk, because that's definitely something that I would consider if I felt like we could kind of do a tour of it. So yeah, London Aero Video Fright Fest is the big one in London that legit films get to go to. And actually, I have some friends who are world premiering at Aero Video Fright Fest this month, so I know it can be done. I have friends who have done it. It's not completely impossible. I don't know if I'm legitimate enough to be able to do that myself. But we'll see how the movie turns out. We'll see if people like it, and that's the determining factor. Is, are people going to like the movie? Are people going to see it and advocate for it? And that's always the big question mark when it comes to any film. Is, are there going to be people who advocate for it? So we'll see. Fingers crossed. I know what my goal of, like, timeline goal is for finishing it. Basically by the end of the year is like when I want it done and starting to, go out into the world and getting the feelers out there for representation and film festivals and things like that. And then I don't know if I'm gonna try to fulfill the backer awards for live screamers by the end of the year or the night. I might not. We will see. Ultimately, that's a question mark. That's something I'll have to think about later. There's a lot to think about. Right now, I'm mostly like trying to get the movie done. And then I want to really focus on those Detroit Reawakening awards and get that off my plate, because I do have about 450, probably more than that, probably close to 500 at this point with the new campaign, orders to fulfill for that film. So that's going to take a really long time since I'm doing it by myself. I think it took like 2.5 weeks to do Detroit Evolution, and that was only 150 people. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes. I'm going to try to pace myself. I'm going to basically be like, I'm shipping 25 a day, and we'll just keep doing that till they're all done. But please be patient. They are coming. But yeah, I will see y'all on August 29th right here. Same bat time, same bat place for Octopunk Monthly Update. And then if you are a Patreon, you'll see me sooner. If you're a $25 patron, you'll see me tomorrow on Patreon for basically 4 p.m. for another one-on-one Begin Again Q&A. Timmy Silver says, y'all, Reawakening fundraising update. We can totally make it. What does that mean? Oh my God. Where are we at right now, Timmy? We're at 6,000. Holy shit. We can totally make it. Counting coffee, I'd say that's only about 800 away. Thank you so much, everybody. What's our backer number? 72 backers. So we've gotten 5 since I started. Thank you to the 5 people who've donated since I started going live. Y'all are rock stars. Holy shit. And also that's less than 4,000 away from Begin Again Blu-rays too. So I might be placing a Begin Again Blu-ray order too at this point. Holy shit. Y'all are the best community in the world, I swear. Pickalily, where's that link again? Right there in the chat, igg.me/@/DRA Blues. I'm also going to cross-post this to YouTube, so if you're a YouTube subscriber, you're seeing this right now, till the end of today, Monday, August 8th, you can go to igg.me/@/DRA Blues, get yourself a DRA Blu-ray and other add-ons and such too. And I don't know, maybe we will reach that stretch goal. Maybe we'll get to 10,000 and be able to do Begin Again. I'd love to put that on Blu-ray as well. It would probably take longer than September at that point. But, that would be fun to do. I would love to give that out. And that would give us more stuff to do for charity later on, too. Damn, look at it go. Oh, my God. What now? Do I need to refresh this again? No, we're at 6,000. I'll take it. We're great. Also, before I go, thank you, Bakasera, for your 2-year anniversary, Brain of Jen for the gift sub, Ninja Noodles for 38 months, Maddie Cosplay for the bits, Vienna Vampire for 27 months, and Maddie and Piccalilli for the bits, and Green Dragon for 17 months too. Thank you all so much for joining me. As always, stay great, hydrate, and have a happy time zone.